shaking that list.
Well, as of this moment,
Yes,
just on the ground, 9.
9.
got-
I
you got-
assume soon to be 10.
Yeah, so soon to be 10.
Well, let's just give you a count. That's
Yeah.
I mean, is something going on tonight?
Not to,
Oh, okay.
well,
Not that we're aware?
I know.
Okay.
Are we?
Somebody
taking
just,
up an offering?
no, my mom and dad had 28, so you got a lot of guys.
Oh,
Yeah, you're not even close yet, Greg. I mean, I think I got 52 cousins, not all of which are alive.
I'm with you.
I don't think.
I'm
I've
right
ever
there.
written that.
Yeah.
Unless you count double first twice, and then you got more.
We're working on it.
I've even got some cousins we didn't find out about until later in life. So-
Thanks.
I would expect
Not on our
that.
side.
You know, not-
So we're not gonna click on something.
Not on the good side. Let's make this clear. That's funny.
Sometimes need I'll tell you that story.
You ready to go? Should we read that thank you now?
Any joke's gonna.
Oh, okay. No, it's-
Yeah.
Is Michael Ford a cousin of yours?
Michael is my cousin.
Yeah.
My first cousin. He is a good dude.
He is,
Yes, yes, he is.
Very proud of Michael.
I'm a blessed man.
I'm very proud of Michael.
Yeah.
I've got some folks that are in my family, I'm not quite so proud of.
that could be close.
Okay. This is the December 23rd meeting of the Calvert City Council. It looks sparse on the camera, but we have a quorum because by virtue of Jeremy Rao, who's online, and he needs to unmute himself, I guess. Is there anything else we need to do, Counselor?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So we have a quorum, and I'm going to call this meeting to order at 5:31, already wasting time. Would you like to lead us in the pledge, Glenn?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business, the minutes of the last meeting have been distributed. Does anybody want to make a motion we adopt? And a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. It passes. All right. In order to accommodate some personal schedules, I was going to ask Chief Cannon to come up and talk to us for a minute here at the first as a visitor or petitioner, even though he's not either.
All right, I appreciate you letting me go first.
I think
Thank you very much.
that's probably not on. We don't have any volume if it's not. Is it
We
on?
have it on.
You turn, green guy.
There he is. There he goes. Hello,
I'll change it up.
Directional.
hello.
Hmm.
It's got a red light, battery dead.
Here you go.
Okay, let's do it.
Go with this one, yeah.
We can go with
All
this.
right. All right, well, I appreciate you letting me go first. I do have somewhere else I need to be here in a minute, but like I said last month, wanted to introduce another one of our new officers. And so I have with me tonight, Evan Timmons.
Hello, Evan.
He is, he's from, Murray PD, and he's got 18 years experience. During his time, he has done, the patrol. He's been assigned to K-9. He's been assigned to the, investigative division as a detective. He has supervisory experience, I believe 7 years as a shift sergeant. And he came to us on October 23rd. He's been here about a month and a half. And since then, we ran him through a little bit of a training. He still has some more training to do, but he is assigned to the midnight shift with officer suits right now. So I just wanted
Midnight.
to,
All right.
bring him by, let you guys see him, see what it looks like. So there we are.
Thank you for coming in early, I suppose. You working tonight?
No, I'm off to the.
Well, you made a special trip to
That's
Calvert.
right.
Well, welcome aboard, October
Yeah.
23rd.
Mhm.
I hope you get to play some overtime on that.
Yeah, it will. And we hope that everyone had a good Thanksgiving holiday, and the Christmas parade was great. it was a good showing. So, always happy to be a part of that. We're coming up to the end of the year, and as of right now, our numbers are just a little bit lower than they have been in the past, which is a good thing for us. So we're happy to say that. And we're available for any questions if you have any.
All right. Anybody got any questions for Chief Cannon? All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you much.
Yep,
Welcome
thank
aboard.
you.
Good
Glad
seeing
I'm
you up
here
here.
and giving me the opportunity.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
City.
All right. We have any other visitors tonight? But anybody got a point? Okay. All right. So we go forward. Old business. We've got a second reading of an ordinance. Who's going to help us out through this process?
All right. This is an ordinance amending section 34.053 of the Calvert City Code of Ordinances relating to the powers and duties of parks, playgrounds, and recreational board. You guys remember the explanation from last month. This is just clarifying the not supervisory, the advisory. Thank you. Sort of, because both advisory, the advisory nature of the Parks Board. So whereas the city council has recognized that the Parks, Playgrounds, and Recreational Board has acted in an advisory capacity with regard to the city's parks, playgrounds, and recreational facilities, in keeping with the stated intent of ordinance number 2006-10, rather than assuming direct management and control of same, and whereas the city council has determined to revise the language of section 34.053 of the Calvert City Code of Ordinances in order to clarify the intended role of the Parks, Playgrounds, and Recreational Board in the management of the city's park system. Now therefore be it ordained by the city of Calvert City, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that section 34.053 of the Calvert City Code of Ordinances hereby is amended as follows. And this is the ordinance as revised. Powers and duties. The Parks, Playgrounds, and Recreational Board hereby is charged with the authority and duty to investigate, analyze, and advise the city with regard to the management, control, operation, and utilization of the city's parks, playgrounds, and recreational facilities. The board is also directed and authorized to make recommendations to the city council with regard to expenditures for maintenance and improvements to the city parks, playgrounds, and recreational facilities. That's the read.
You're in with the lesson.
Hmm?
You're in with the lesson. That's your end lesson. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? That's it. Linda?
I need a motion.
Motion to adopt.
Ref. And a
What,
second.
what was it that was being changed?
Look, it's shown. Do you see, do you have a copy of it?
Yes,
You can look at the stuff that's
the operation of the
stuff that's underlined is the new language. And the only thing removed is and the.
Okay. So those are just, it's just wording right through there.
That's right.
Okay.
Its sole purpose was to clarify that the Parks Board is acting as an advisory board for you guys, that the actual management is vested in the executive authority, and that the money is you guys.
Okay.
You guys.
Okay, I see. I'm sorry.
Not-
Thank you.
Not the board.
Thank you. All right. I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance.
Or you'll
Oh, second.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg.
This is for adoption, right?
Yes.
Councilman Howard,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilman Rao,
Yes. Can you hear me? I said yes.
and then Councilman Harrington is absent and Councilman Stokes is absent. So it is adopted.
Can we hear Jeremy?
I don't know. Should be.
Yes.
You can hear us, Jeremy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
He can hear
Yeah,
you.
I can read it, yeah, but I just can't hear him.
Yeah.
Check that mute button.
We need.
Yeah. We visually see you. You got a microphone mute on your computer, Jeremy?
No,
Not just on the program, but actually on the computer.
no, I'm on a tablet. Could you hear me earlier?
He usually blasts us out of the room, when he says.
I think it's on his end. Give us 5 count.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
Try
4,
again.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't know what's going on. It's showing that it's coming through, but it's not coming out for whatever reason. Try again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No. It was on this other one.
Can you check your speaker then?
Can you give us a 5 count?
Yeah, I've been doing it. I'm on a iPad, so could you hear me earlier when I first started?
Never heard of it. As long as we can hear you, that's fine. Okay, let's just. You're on here. With about a 2-second backlog. Let's hope we don't break out into feedback. Okay.
Right.
I'll go nuts. Oh, mute. No, I can't.
If Jean's gonna talk, then I'll just move the phone over this.
Spoken like a media professional. I'm serious. Thank you. Okay, Jeremy, say something so we can hear you. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Okay, so we've got that one taken care of and got that amended. So we're going on to new business, board appointments and reappointments. And I don't think you guys got these in the notes of the meeting, but.
No, because we were double checking, still double checking, make sure that we had.
Okay, so I've got some that are acting and we need to just get on here. So Planning Commission, I'll offer up for reappointment, Mr. Ben Capps. Public Utilities Board, Dan Sills, please stand, no, take a bow, no, I'm kidding. Fire Training Center Advisory Board, Harry Green. These are all reappointments.
They all want to be reappointed.
They all do. We've contacted them and have looked into it. That's why the delay in getting the names out. Dr. James Hopkins. Go back in.
His airport.
Okay, Airport Board. And Cemetery Board, Gayla Gregory. And Parks and Recreation, Jeff Allen. Okay.
Sorry, does everybody live in the city?
Yes.
Harry Green doesn't, but he does.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Okay.
Fire training, I'm sorry. I need to answer your question truthfully. How about that? We'll try that.
I
So
don't-
for
I
the,
didn't think that you were being dishonest.
no, for the airport board, it's not a requirement that they live in the city.
Yeah.
And the same is true for the fire training center. What we try to do is we try to get an equal breakup between the industrial responders and
Yes.
public responders.
I think that's correct.
So,
Did you
Yep.
say Hawkins?
Dr. James Hawkins, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Hopkins.
I did
Bill
too.
Hawkins, yes, like him.
Yeah, I mean, I knew he was, but I didn't know a Hopkins. But
oh,
Okay.
it's Hawkins. So those are my recommendations to council. And we need to get them reappointed. So we just take a simple vote on the whole group of them, or do we need to break them up individually?
If they
To
got-
be,
Can we do the whole group?
we do the whole group?
Can we do the whole group?
Yeah, unless you want to change something or disagree.
If it's a unanimous vote, then you can do it.
We've done that before.
Okay, so is it
I'll make a recommendation that we approve the appointments that you list.
as a group?
As a-
Okay. Everybody understand? So we'll take a second on that one.
I'll second that.
Got a second? And since Jeremy's here, we'll all raise our hands if you're in agreement. There we go.
Mhm.
Thank you for that, and we'll inform them that they have been reappointed. And I have some announcements for the winner of the holiday decorating contest. And I've got addresses for some of them without names, and I got names of some of them. So I'll read these real quick. 17 homes and businesses participated this year. There's a link to a map of the submissions on the Facebook page. And anybody wants to go look at the Christmas lights needs to go get that and drive around. Some of them are pretty impressive. And these are the best of the best. Each first place winner will receive a $100 gift card from Holly Nursery, and it's sponsored by the Jeter Group of Calvert City. So Business runner-up was Edward Jones, and the business winner is Studio 270. Is it 270 or 270? I guess it's 270.
0.
Anyway, however they like to go. So with that, I'm going to transition into the residence winners, and I don't have names here. So Wild and Over the Top runner-up, 216 Camelot. That's runner-up. Wild and Over the Top winner. The winner is 19 Royal Park Court. Classic Christmas runner-up is 536 6th Avenue. And the classic Christmas winner is 822 Chestnut Street. Okay. Honorable mentions at 536 Elm Street and 281 East 2nd. So I know where I'll be driving around here sometime very soon.
And Nathan, Studio 270, they've moved from over where Farms Real Estate was over to next to the insurance office.
Okay.
He's expanding, making more space. So
That's
that's a
right.
good thing.
I'd heard some rumors that were starting with 270 that he was expanding and actually had him located different places around the city, but he's still in the shopping center. Okay. Very good. That said, I'm going to go into the marketing director's report because I can follow instructions that are left. Blair couldn't be here tonight. I think she's feeling a bit under the weather herself. So holiday ornament painting, participants freestyle paint or follow along with Victoria. It costs us $15 and you will go home with a two hand painted ornaments. The classes will be held at Civic Center and will begin session 1 at 3:30 p.m. Session 2 at 6 to 8. And
I think it's December the 12th.
December the 12th. Is that right?
I
December
have to look at it.
Yes.
December the 12th?
You asked her last.
And it's probably on the sheet and I'm just not
Yeah, I looked it up.
zeroing in on it. Wear clothes that you don't mind getting a little paint on. All supplies are included in the price and will be collected at the door. Reserve your space tonight. Okay, so that's I feel like I need to be reading radio ad commercials.
And I'm sorry, I just got a message on that somebody that's listening that they can hear Jeremy on YouTube, even though we can't hear him.
Oh, okay. So we got a problem with our speakers. There you go.
Okay.
What can we say, Jeremy? Okay. I've got a note that somebody called the mayor, and I don't have the time of the date, but somebody said Mary Beth Schrader wanted to say that this was the best Christmas parade ever.
Wonderful.
And we've gotten a lot of comments. We're talking about this thing looked like a page out of Hallmark. Thank you very much, Parade Lions Club parade chairwoman.
Well, I can't take all the credit. One, my husband went with me and we divided and conquered, and he did a lot of the hard work on my part. And the Lions Club altogether, they were making those hot dogs. They were going and buying those hot dogs and the drinks and
Great event, great weather, high energy.
great.
So congratulations to you and all the
They all
Lions Club.
showed up. So, I mean, it was
It was a really good parade, really good parade. I heard a lot of good comments all over town. And since I'm on the mode here, thank you notes. We had someone, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Bishop at Live Out Sled Creek Road. Our city owns a section of Slade Creek Road by virtue of having annexed the park. And so when that road was upgraded, we financed part of the striping up there. They're pretty happy to have the striping. Evidently it'd gotten in disrepair and they're pretty happy to be able to see. So even though there's really no houses too much on that road in the city, we still have the obligation for that. And thank you to Brad for cooperating with the county and doing what needed to get done to make sure we cooperate properly with all things county. And we're all in. Okay. Projects report. John, you ready to give us a rundown on projects report?
Sure. TAP grant fund, they're looking to start the bid process. So we can finally, hopefully put our multi-use trail to bed.
You expect us to believe you?
First time I've said this.
I'm teasing. That's good
Well,
news.
I mean, we've got a couple of things. We have to relocate some utilities. Electrical, mostly the power poles and stuff to get that relocated. But other than that, they're ready to go to bid. They've been approved and we're moving forward. We're also working with PAD on several different grants. looking at some funding through DRA, for some, protection, flood protection down and mitigation down at the, water plant. We're looking at, some other possibilities. We're gonna work with them this week, go over some projects like Darcal and some others to see what might be out there, keep them on eyes and ears open for something that might work in that area so that we can actually get some money to get to work on that. So, I had a good long conversation with them today. I'll let Tim talk about the airport, but we're moving forward with KDA on that, on some stuff there. Let's see. The leaf truck has been down. It's going again. We had trouble with the dumping motor and so they had to take it offline for a bit.
So once again, we can say you rake them, we take them. All right.
And so. What else is it going on? We got paving. Paving is going on right now. They've got the parking lot back here finished. If you're not taking a look at it, you've got 61 new parking places out back. That should help with both the training classes that we host during the day with the police department and others. And then it will also in the evenings help with parking for soccer or other sports in the back.
Bicycle,
I'm sorry.
bicycle. They're going to be very proud of that whenever they have an event on
Oh,
the
yeah,
Moneymaker
yeah.
Trail. That's going to be the parking area.
We're also working to get the paperwork and everything ready to bid the restrooms up here at the on the hill.
So have we decided against the pickleball court and only do the restrooms?
This year, because all we have the money for is the pickleball court. The restrooms, we don't have the money for the pickleball court. If we start the pickleball court, then we give up the bathrooms. And it'll be a 2-year facility payout. I mean, you'd have to do half of it now and half of it next year because you're looking at $500,000 for what they're asking for, what they're wanting.
It came in a lot higher than what they thought.
Came in at 500, right at 487, so right at $500,000.
In case you ran into this issue again, what I was trying to suggest whenever they were here, when we had first discussed this, are they allowed to have a tournament and the funding from that go towards a new court?
Well, I mean, sure. I mean,
If they want to contribute, the city can receive contributions. So if the pickleball folks want to charge for, yes, if the pickleball, sorry, folks want to charge for a tournament and then make a contribution to the city,
so
yes, they can.
they would come to us and we fill out, the council says, okay, we're going to get in a co-sponsorship with you. We fill out the paperwork. We don't charge rental for the pickleball courts or anything, but it'd be a sanctioned thing that they're making money for. And they've had donations to whatever they donate to. And if they want to hold money and have certain amount of funds available that they wanted to talk to the council about, talk to, the city overall about, then of course, I mean, we can do that. One of the things that we've talked to in the past is about people who want to have sponsorship of different things around in the city's equipment. And really, frankly, Calvert City hasn't done a lot of that. I can't think of too many times where we've done something meaningful like that.
Is that what you were looking into whenever I had suggested the pickleball tournament to raise money for it? Is that what you were looking to?
Well, one of the things we're looking for is some of the sponsorship dollars. What would be an amount of money that Calvert City would be look at positively as far as advertising or naming rights or anything like that? Well, we as a city haven't really partaken of that. So what would be something that we could do if somebody wanted to say, hey, here's X amount of dollars, let me hang my business's name on here for either a period of time or forevermore. That's not something we've really done. And I don't know, you'd call that sports licensing or some kind of thing.
Sponsorship, have we?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what was the verdict when we looked into that?
Well, one of the things that we ran into is that the dollars amounts for that had been discussed were pretty small compared to the overall cost of, say, $500,000.
Sure.
So one of the things, I mean, that's a discussion for council to talk about, to say what would be a meaningful contribution that the funds would be put toward that expenditure.
So it is allowed though.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing prohibiting that.
I mean, with signage, I feel like it's worth looking
want to
into.
do that. You want to do that very carefully because, you guys, well, just like we did. Well, like we did David's thing,
Mhm.
and Chris's, we've got Chris noted. It is, the city's space is not for sale. But if someone makes a significant contribution, be it monetary or in some other fashion,
Mhm.
then certainly the council can choose to recognize that contribution and note it on a rock or whatever.
Our family, Chris's family paid for the stop and
Yeah.
the park
Right.
and donated it to the city.
But in the same breath, you have to be careful that the city is not actually selling advertisement space.
Right.
So,
I mean, I just wouldn't want a lot of signs hanging on
I
the,
wouldn't.
right, you
that
can't,
would look a little.
the city doesn't have that option. The city can't
Good.
sell.
But if we had a donor that wanted to come up and make some meaningful contributions that would make the council decide to amend the budget or do something differently, I mean, that's something we could talk about, and it becomes a bit more legalistic at that point in time. Just what exactly are the terms and how does that all work? And frankly, we really haven't had anybody ever come forth and do that. Now, we've had people talk about it and consider it. I think we've actually, well, I don't want to get into that too much, but from time to time, you'll have like a baseball league or maybe soccer league, and they'll do some stuff that's ancillary to a tournament or maybe a function. And that's really that's really not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, putting a name on the facility for a while and a meaningful sponsorship of that.
Yeah.
And so that would be drawing up a legal agreement. If I were putting up tens of thousands of dollars or maybe more, then I'd want to know, as a business owner, I'd want to know what exactly was this going to be, and you'd have to delineate that and make sure we were legal and went to it. I mean, they couldn't really influence too much how that property was used by public, and we couldn't sell public land for exclusive use for anything, or maybe some kind of restricted use. We'd have to, he'd probably wear us out on the legal details of it, and so that's just something to consider. Have we done it? No, we haven't. Have other municipalities in the state done it? Certainly. Would we be open? I believe I would be open to discussing that with someone, and I hope you guys would too. But we really, Tanara, to answer your question, when we were beating it around, really there wasn't a firm offer on the table other than, yeah, it could happen. But I had people acting as third-party liaisons, if you will, and really didn't come up with a firm answer or firm offer from any particular entity that was
Well, I
willing
was
to
just
make something.
asking so that if we're gonna shelf this for next year, then maybe they could go ahead and start thinking of ways to raise money, just in case something were to come up short next year. They'd say, hey, I have this to offer.
Well,
That's
the
what I
thing
would like to
is
pitch.
we've got a scoped out project and have a cost associated with that. Before we know it, we'll be entering into the throes of developing the budget for the next fiscal year. So it's good that we have that moving into that period of time and know what's going on and can try to, we certainly have supporters. Right. And they came to speak to us very respectfully. And the bottom line is we have people who are organized, very loosely organized, but very efficiently organized. And it's a social type sport. And they're observing that when they're doing their activities, if other people come up during that period of time, there's probably not enough court to make everybody happy, but they're trying to make it work. And so the overall thing is about to provide enough of that amenity that people who are interested in pickleball can play pickleball without, encumbrances. And I don't think anybody's really pitched the idea that we're going to be, and I hope I don't intend to make anybody mad, but we're not going to have enough resource here in Calvert City that's really going to make us a big, powerful regional force, but we can sure throw a really nifty tournament at this size. It's not going to be one that's going to be the state championship. It's not going to be, but having an activity here. And, the thing is, we've got this group of pickleball players moving all over the state, representing our name, Calvert City, in a positive light. And we're all for that. And it goes along with what we're trying to do as far as establish a community with some good livability and want to do what we can to foster that. And so it's been asked. It's been scoped. It has a price tag of, what was it, $475?
487.
487.
And one of the things, if it keeps on being a problem until we get something resolved, local people not being able to play because other people are coming in here, then, we may reserve, you could set up a system to reserve the courts like we do the buildings. I mean.
Well, that's true. The other thing is if the pickleball group will actually become an entity, a nonprofit entity, we can set up a sports league agreement.
Which is what we do with baseball, which is what we do with soccer.
And soccer, and that way they would have access at certain times of the day and certain days of the week. That would be probably the easiest way to handle it in the meantime, knowing that during those times, that would be theirs exclusively, and then outside those times, anybody can play on. We do have 2 pickleball courts that are overlaid on the tennis courts, and they're still there. If somebody wants to use them when these are in use.
But the information I have is we're very well at capacity. And when people want to come out and play, they try to facilitate what they can. But if you're just wanting to bat it around as a family and you got to organize pickleball players there, you're probably going to come back another night. Let's just face facts, But I haven't.
I was gonna say, we go down to the other one.
Yeah, I haven't heard any kind of report of, hey, this is terrible. And I haven't received a phone call like that. I don't think we have. If anybody else has, let us know.
The biggest issue is that there's not, of course, for them, they're having to sit and wait, and that's more of an issue.
Okay.
Well, I haven't heard them complain of that either.
No, I think
They're all they socialize. They're having fun. It doesn't matter. They're just.
And it's a
they're
good
having
thing to have. It's just that there might be other ways to take care of the immediate problem. Like what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Did everybody get that email that came from Dustin or something? I just read it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I talked to him on the phone this week. I hadn't seen an email from
Dustin
him.
somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dustin Brown?
Dustin Brown, who'd be, I would
It's a 3
imagine.
or 4 page letter,
Okay.
and it was all the,
You got it?
but
I'll
I
have to look.
can't
Like
get
I
this thing
did.
to work in here.
I haven't
for some
read it.
reason, But, it just came today, but he had all kind of national facts and figures about the growth of the sport.
Oh,
and-
I've seen that. I've seen that group of data what you're describing. I've seen a group of data like that. I talked to Dustin on the phone. He was inquiring as to where we were, and there's a group of people who are interested in trying to do something. So we will accelerate the investment in more pickle court, and that's great. And it's great. We have a demand, and
We'll probably start working on budget right after the first of the year, so then we'll come talk to the Parks Board. That way they get something keyed into the budget.
and we can look at the scope. Right now it's an estimate. It's an estimate, and it's put together with estimating type figures. That's different than having a actual project with bills and so. And the biggest difference is that we did a lot of in-kind. Well, it's probably the wrong word. We did a lot of the construction ourselves with Brad's forces, and we're not in a position to do that right now. And maybe we can figure out a scheme, but where we could be. But
And we could also, if they could cut back on the number of courts they were requesting, that might help as well, because that might bring the price down as well as 4 instead of 6.
Yeah. Any more project update?
Brad,
Brad,
you got anything else? We got, the paving, I never did finish the paving. We're working on Gilbertville Highway, working on West 2nd, 6th is done. We'll be doing the tear out and the base, for the winter, before winter. And then after the plants open back up in the spring, they'll come back and do their final paving.
I finished that today.
The base?
Tear out.
Base,
The
tear out,
base,
the
okay.
base.
So those roads are passable. They have a base, and so they're good to go for the winter. And then we'll, like I said, in the spring, we'll come back when they've opened up and we'll complete that project. So the parking lot came in right on budget or a little below. We estimated 120 and it cost us a little less than 110. So that was a blessing. We had 6th Avenue came in under budget. If we're lucky, then we may have the same issues at other places. I don't know that, but we'll see. That's it. I think.
Okay. Tim, you got some news from the fire department?
I'm almost afraid to say, we've slowed down a bunch, thank goodness. We've got our pickup order, supposed to get it sometime in February. It's gonna be a 24 model. So, we went out to, Mike Miller Park Thursday night as a fire department and collected canned goods and money. We feel like we did real well there. So that's pretty much what we've been up to.
Have a good time doing it?
Yeah, I really did. I
Well,
enjoyed
good.
myself.
I'm glad you,
John come and helped, and we had a big time.
did you catch the Grinch? The
He
Grinch
was
still
there.
running around? Okay.
He was there.
Like the cooperation. He's already covered you, right, Brandon? You're off of it? Okay.
What's that? Elementary school there too that night.
They were. Yeah. The only other thing that we didn't mention, and I didn't know if you would or not, is the backhoe's down right now. We're having some issues with it.
Got a few things that just decided to.
Yeah, 2 or 3, everything.
What's down? Backhoe's down? What's,
Before everything else this year.
Motor truck down, the recycling trailer, it decided to blow out of cylinders.
I think you could take that and make some kind of crank Christmas song out of that.
The last one has been.
Backhoe down, brush truck down, vacuum sucking. Oh, no. Leaves.
It's not.
This is a G-rated. This keep it straight. On to the last but not the least, water department. You got something?
Yeah, the PD cloud
Hmm?
is moving again. We were able to reroute and get those easements approved. They're moving on that. And, plan to finish that. And then, we're still looking at the engineering study for maybe moving up the
Long Valley Road.
Long Valley Road. Pick up the customers up there that don't have water. With the extra money that we had in that bid. And
Right.
that grant. That's working on the water plant itself to upgrade on it. We had a bid on the variable frequency drives and the controls with Rick's Electric bid that in, and the paperwork is ready for you to sign
Oh, awesome.
for us to move, getting those parts ordered, which is pretty lengthy lead time on.
March or April.
All right.
I have one other thing to throw out there right quick before I forget it.
What's that?
I sent out an email today and one earlier last week, I think it was, on the flyover out here at exit 25 coming up the parkway into Calvert. It's gonna be closed starting the 13th. Be closed for a few days to do some work on it. So just so you're aware that you'll be getting, when you come up from if you come up the parkway, you'll be getting off at exit 27 instead of 25. Or 51.
So that's changed recently. They were just going to do some remedial action for one day. They're going to take it down for multiple days now.
I don't know I don't know, you have to look at the email again. I can't remember if it was a day or two or if it's
Okay.
just the one day, but it's on their list and I sent it out to you today. So
So that's not huge. You just keep going and get off at the next exit.
just get off the
Okay.
next exit or either get off at.
Well, that will
Jacksonville and
impact plant traffic and kind
come
of.
up. Coming in, going
Okay.
out should be okay.
All right. And, I'm sure the transportation cabinet will be hitting all the usual outlets to let everybody know that ahead of time. They do a pretty good job of getting the word out. Mr. Todd does a good job of that. Okay. So, we're at that time of day when we talk about time of the month, when we talk about airport. So you're on the spot now, Tim.
Okay,
What you got? For
we
airport?
are walking down the windy, hilly road of administrative paperwork between Calvert City, KDA, and the FAA for our 4 projects. The airport layout plan, the fence, the hangar, and the wheels and packers. If you remember, a reel is a runway end identification light, and a PAPI is a precision approach lighting system. I don't know. I forget.
Okay,
We have a published approach, as you've heard.
that's a milestone. This is the milestone you're talking about.
It is a milestone,
Well, that's
and
28.
we promised you back we promised you back in 2018 that it would take a while,
Yeah,
and
You did a lot.
we didn't.
You're delivering.
As it turns out, the application that they use to provide the approach that you have now, which is a bad weather GPS approach to runway 28. And it allows pilots to operate with down to a mile visibility or a mile and a quarter, depending on the equipment you have in the airplane. And it also provides for a circling approach to runway 10 that you can make, that one can make. I think it's appropriate that the first waypoint along that approach is codenamed Lumpy. I actually think that's a pretty good name for it. I don't know why or how it got that name.
codenamed Lumpy.
Codename Lumpy.
Maybe to be.
Eddie Haskell would be proud, I think. But the other thing I wanted to mention, the final thing I wanted to mention, is that there is also a published departure procedure for runway 10,
Mhm.
which is an east departure, obviously. That departure procedure has a significant number of trees listed. Those trees, the good news is those trees do not have to be removed. They are for notification only for a pilot calculating the weight that the aircraft could have for departure in order to clear those particular objects.
Pretty important.
The purpose of a departure procedure is particularly for pilots operating twin engine airplanes. And they are made specifically for what is a pilot to do losing one engine on takeoff. And the reason there are a significant number of trees on the list is because the departure procedures carries a 40-to-1 approach departure slope, as opposed to the approach, which is a 20-to-1 slope. When we say 20-to-1 or 40-to-1, the first number is the horizontal distance along the ground, and the second number is the elevation. So a 20-to-1 is a foot of elevation every 20 feet out from the runway end. So a 40-to-1 obviously is half the elevation of a 20-to-1. So there's significantly more trees within that cone and protection. It's for notification of the pilots only. It does not require mitigation. The last bit is because of our long and winding walking trails that we have on our administrative duties for all of our projects. We will be initiating probably in January or February the contract for selective tree cutting on runway 10 approach, runway 28 approach, to get the final phase and the last few trees that the FAA said they didn't like. And we'll be working on that for the next tree season, which will be in November.
A 10-hour period in November when it's legal to do it.
It's actually down to 9 3/4.
Well, let me say, I think, and I hope, well, I guess this is right. You achieved that quicker than we did the multi-use trail with our grant monies. Am I wrong? Okay. All right. Before I go around and talk to these councilmen, I got another commercial run here. Tim was talking about this when we came in. This was on Blair's notes to me, and I wanted to end up with this, but we'll end up with council and see if they have anything they want to bring up in particular. But city information, the information form for businesses in Calvert City, we really like that information, the emergency information form. And this is going to be utilized by the fire department and put into dispatches information about key holders and just every business in the city due back on December 31. Right? How we doing pretty good on that?
I'm not sure. We're getting a number of them in. Just a quick dirty on that. That's just really what we're doing is attaining information for after hours emergency contacts for the businesses.
So
That's
it's
exactly what it is.
that's something that we'll
Reader's
commonly
Digest.
call a key holder. So if something happens to that business, we
That
can.
way, if there's something
Okay.
going on, they could contact the owner and say, hey, you might want to come down here, or if you don't, tell us what you want us to do.
Okay. And the next bullet item that I have been instructed to read is get the lead out campaign. This is a survey about the piping, water piping in your house. And this is a situation. I think there's some public discourse on this. It's not as favorable as it should be. This is something that we need to do for the water department to have compliance with the regulations that have been put upon us. And we're not compliant with the regulations and we're not eligible for extracurricular funding and we want to be. So we will get a lead survey done somehow. And the easiest way to do it, it doesn't take very long and you'll get a $5 credit on the water bill. And so again, that's January 2nd. Please complete that survey. If you need some help completing that, you can call City Hall. We'll have somebody call, reach out and work with you on that if we have to. It's pretty straightforward. Even I had figured it out. January 2nd, a week of January 2nd up until then, you rake it, we take it, right? Last day for loose leaf pickup is a week of January 2. And along the contact information, I want to do a public service announcement for the water department. The water department needs everyone's phone number. All the service addresses that we have that are customers of the water department. It's very important that the water department have a valid phone number. We've got a lot of 395 numbers that have been dropped through the years. And just an update on who the account holders are and stuff like that. I mean, we've had good stability in Calvert City and some of this information, I'd hate to even know how far back it dates. So the phone number is very important. If there's a late notice, it goes out to phone numbers. If there's a boil water notice, it goes out to phone numbers. If there's any kind of business situation with Calvert City Water, this is in the city limits or outside of the city limits, we'll do notification using the code red format. It's very, very convenient and very effective, provided you have the right contact information. So really, along with that drive, and I'm gonna throw in one just for me, you need to register for Code Red. This is really close to the 2nd year anniversary of the tornado that had such devastating damage in our area. At my house, Code Red goes off on 2 cell phones, a house phone, and a poodle barking his head off. So you know something's up. Get registered for Code Red. The plants are using Code Red for notification. Should they have to do that too? And it's just I don't know any downside to that. They don't sell your information to anybody else, to the phone list and all that kind of jazz. But please, folks, let's get going there. I believe Blair's probably got some information advertising the stuff she wants to do on that too. So, okay, enough of that. We'll go around. There.
I would like to take a moment to thank the city for participating in the parade. And they did a fabulous job. And I would like to thank all of our businesses that showed up and they showed out. I know there's still some city members that I would like to get involved. I almost had Brad in tights, and maybe next year.
I ended up driving the truck.
But he was busy driving the truck. So fire department, we hope to have them in uniform and showing off how wonderful and fabulous they are. But we had great participation. It's because our city showed up. These businesses, and we even had people from the Jeep Club. They had a great time. I wish we could have given something special to every single person, but we have new things that are already in place for next year. So hopefully we'll have even more participation.
In churches.
Well, that's a business. That's why.
It's the business. It's the business.
Church still runs as a business. So that's why I said that.
Absolutely correct. Do anything.
It's a business. Yes. Thank you.
All right.
And I would also like to say that I'm glad that Lloyd's here and he looks
I'm
great.
glad to be here. I was just thinking, I've missed Christmas parade 2 years in a row.
I know.
I've missed Veterans Day at Mike Miller Park 2 years in a row. So there's been some readjusting, I think.
But we're very lucky to
Just
have
where we
you.
are. Well, I'm looking, you don't know, I'm very lucky to be here, because I could be just over in Calvert City Cemetery today. So, we dodged that bullet and we're still here, so. It's quite unexpected, I'll put it that way.
Nita, you got anything?
Just gonna make an announcement that the trolley will be making rounds on the 20th or no, I take this back, start all over. This Wednesday night, the trolley will be caroling
Okay.
around Calvert.
Isn't that
Cross-
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Huh?
Strike that.
Yeah,
Reverse it.
but go back, rewind.
The trolley.
Crossroads
The
Methodist
20th.
is doing the,
Okay.
I think it's, no, I'm wrong. It's whatever this Saturday, this
Saturday?
Wednesday is.
This
No,
Wednesday.
Next week's the
Thursday.
20th.
It's this
This
Wednesday.
This
Wednesday would
Wednesday.
be the 13th.
So we're gonna have the
This
sounds of
Wednesday.
Christmas caroling. That's very good.
That's right.
So it's the
If you
13th.
don't hear it on 13th, it'll be on 20th, but it's the 13th.
Ralph, you got something?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Jeremy,
No, sir, I'm all good.
we can hear you on the phone still. That's awesome. I had to check in with you
And on YouTube.
and on YouTube. Everybody's doing good except here in the chambers. Monty, you got anything? Glad to see Monty here.
Yeah.
I would just say I read something about your maybe a animal control issues, and so
We had a visitor before council.
Okay. So I'd point you to last Tuesday's meeting, and we had an animal control policy passed.
Okay,
Animals. So
good.
reach out to the judge executive's office and get a copy of that. And
And I will tell you that on the very situation that was brought up before us, that county animal control had responded to that.
okay,
Okay, they had responded to that and said animal had been removed and I think had regained entrance into the community. Had done whatever time it was, and it was still having some shenanigans after that. So,
yeah,
you know, if anything was said or alluded to that the county wasn't, that, you know, I mean, it's always, you know, we talk about dogs and golf carts a lot, but that's one of the issues there. So that particular one, county was responsive and actually picked that animal up at least once.
it's a difficult issue.
Yes,
whether it's in
we
the
understand.
city or the county, and I brought up I think I'm the only one maybe that had a little issue with it, just because it's on it's on the person who is calling, you know, may see it as a nuisance when maybe it's not
Yeah.
really, and
Right.
you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's up for debate what a nuisance is. Now, the ones that are biting, I mean, that's obvious. But if you just have a dog that is just walking the streets, is that a nuisance? It may be to someone, but who makes that? It's not easy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not an easy.
So Calvert City's had animal ordinances on 3 different occasions that I'm aware of, and we've repealed them. And it's a bad owner's law, really, is what I love to call them. And for us to really get it meaningfully in it, we have to basically come up with a salary, probably a salary and a half for backup, and then figure out if we get a proper interlocal agreement where we can house them safely. So those are all reasons. Greg's sitting here nodding. He's lived through those 3 ordinances coming and going. And and everybody says we don't have any ordinances. Well, yeah, we do. We have the county ordinance and the state ordinance. We just don't have an individual city ordinance. And so maybe we can learn more about that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Just call the judge's office and get a copy of it.
Okay, we need
If
to
you have
certainly.
any thoughts on it? feel
And
free to
we
give me a
probably
call.
need to bring some copies in here to City Hall because we get called on that. It's one of our more frequent calls we get at City. With that said, it's that time of day. I don't know what we're gonna do without Kevin here. We're stuck.
I'll be Kevin.
You're gonna be Kevin? So I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
The motion that we adjourn.
We got a motion?
Bye.
We have a second? I haven't left anybody out, have I? I don't think so. Okay. We have a second?
I'll second.
2 seconds. Okay, we're done. Thank you so much.